The police continues its aggressive campaign against loiterers in an attempt to prevent crime. But some are complaining that they are overdoing it. Jeff Caparaz tells us more.
In less than a week, almost 3,000 individuals have been arrested after President Duterte directed the PNP to arrest so-called tambays on the streets. But it wasn't just typical street loiterers who were arrested. The biggest chunk of apprehended individuals were those who violated curfew laws in their municipalities. Over 1,000 men were also brought in for not wearing shirts and for drinking in public. Cops also arrested those who violated public smoking ban and traffic rules. The PNP says the sweep is part of their drive against crime. But Matt and his partner cried foul after they were arrested Friday night. In his viral post, Matt explained that while waiting for a friend just outside their house, they were immediately invited by PNP personnel to the precinct for questioning. They had the shock of their lives when they were ushered into a detention cell where they remained for almost an hour.
Mas maganda po sana kung magkakaroon tayo ng measurement. Baka mamaya, nasa waiting shed ka lang, nag-aabang ng sasakyan, baka bigla kang huliin kasi sabihin, tambay ka na. Wala po akong plano. Parang sa akin po kasi is awareness. I have nothing against with the anti-tambay law. Mas maganda nga po yun. Pero sana lang po nagkaroon ng measurement at usapan muna bago kami biglang or siguro hindi naman siguro kami hahantong sa kailangan ipasok sa kulungan.
But PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde defended his men, saying they were only following the president's orders. He clarified that those who landed in the slammer violated laws and local ordinances.
We've been already implementing these ordinances. Nagkaroon lang ng controversy yan, it's because no less than the President sinabi niyan. And the word standby, probably it was overused lang or inadvertently used by this policemen dahil yun ang word na ginamit. Basically, yung sinasabing standby, parang ano yun parang it's a common word lang. Yung pagkasabi ng kung ano. Pero kung titignan natin yung pinaguhuli nila, they have specific cases. They have specific violations and not the word standby.
The Commission on Human Rights says otherwise.
Pag ang tao'y walang ginagawang masama, hindi naman pwedeng damputin lang yan ng pulis, di ba? Just because nakatayo siya sa kanto or nagsikwentuhan or naghalubili sa mga kaibigan, meron tayong batas.
The police chief says the public can file a complaint if they feel that their rights are being violated. Jess De Los Santos, We Are One News.
Many people ask, since when was it illegal to simply hang around? The serious answer to that question is the year 1902. On that year, the Commonwealth passed Act number 519 declaring vagrancy as a crime. Vagrancy was then defined as loitering at saloons and dram shops and gambling joints or hanging around without any visible means of support. This was updated through Article 202 of the Revised Penal Code in 1932. Vagrancy was then defined as having no apparent means of subsistence despite the ability to work. It also referred to loitering in public and semi-public places and wandering without means of support. And the law penalized association with people and places of ill repute, ruffians, pimps, and prostitutes. The vagrancy law would remain uncontested for 8 decades. But in 2003, 2 ladies named Evangeline Citon and Cristel Sagarano were arrested in Davao City for allegedly loitering around San Pedro and Legazpi streets without visible means to support themselves. The 2 questioned the legality of the anti-vagrancy law before the courts, and in a landmark decision, a Davao Regional Trial Court struck down Article 202 of the RPC as unconstitutional. Unfortunately, that ruling was reversed by the Supreme Court in 2009. The Supreme Court upheld the vagrancy law, and the court argued or held that the streets were becoming unsafe because of all the beggars, watch your car boys, thieves, swindlers, and prostitutes. Yes, the Supreme Court lumped beggars and prostitutes with common criminals. And so the law stayed valid until 2012 when Congress passed Republic Act 10158, or an act decriminalizing vagrancy. By doing so, Congress declared that it is not a crime to do nothing in public places, regardless of whether people have any visible means to support themselves. It was also a recognition that the crime of vagrancy had long been abused by authorities who just want to get unwanted people off of the streets, whether these are beggars or demonstrators. But take note that while vagrancy has been decriminalized, most local government units have passed their own ordinances against loitering. But most of these are addressed to minors during curfew hours or to people who drink alcohol in public space. But the act of loitering or simply hanging around is no longer a crime.